Hello again. I'm out in the paddock checking some wheat crop. We had a beautiful bit of rain over the weekend and everything's going really well at the moment. This week's study is a really unusual study, one of the strangest stories I think in the Bible. It's taken from Numbers and it goes over 3 chapters, 22, 23, 24. And I'm not going to read much of it because it's just too extensive, and I'm going to try and tell you as quick as I can in a shortened version. You can read it for yourself. But it's about when God talked through a donkey. And we have to go back to 1450 BC, and it's just after the Israelites have left the promised land. They're coming into the promised land. They've been wandering in the desert for 40 years, and they're about to go over the River Jordan to claim the land that God has given to them. They've already had a couple of battles and won those, and the tribe that they're coming up to go past is a tribe. It's the Moabites. The Moabite king is a guy called Balaam, and Balaam is terrified. He's looking out over the Israelites coming through, and there's hundreds of thousands of them, and he's mentally overwhelmed by how many there are and thinks, well, what hope have I got in my little pagan tribe? And it doesn't actually say that, and he's already heard that they've defeated some of the neighbouring tribes already, and he really doesn't know what to do. So he thinks, well, I know of a prophet, and this prophet lives 700 kilometres away, a prophet called Balaam, and I'm going to send for Balaam, and Balaam's a great prophet. He can call on the spirits, and Balaam curses remains cursed, and he who Balaam blesses is blessed. So it sounds a bit like God and the Israelites. But anyway, he calls for Balaam, sends for Balaam. Now, there's no good guys in this story, only bad guys. Balak and Balaam. They're the only bad guys, and we see God looking after the Israelites. But anyway, Balaam, on his way to curse the Israelites, he is riding a donkey to get there, and the donkey on 3 occasions, one occasion he goes to wander off into the fields, another occasion he pushes up against a wall, and another occasion he just lies down. And the donkey can see an angel of the Lord standing there stopping him from going, trying to prevent the donkey from taking Balaam to Balak. And Balaam gets really cross with the donkey and he starts beating the donkey. And here's the really weird part. The donkey up and says, and the words of the donkey are, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times? And oddly, Balaam doesn't get funny about the donkey talking. He just talks back to the donkey, and the donkey explains, well, you know, I've been faithful to you. And then God opens the eyes of Balaam, and Balaam can see an angel of the Lord standing in the way of the donkey. And the angel of the Lord explained then and said, that donkey hadn't laid down, I would have killed you. And Balaam then repents and says, well, you know, if you want me to turn back, I'll go back. And the angel of the Lord says, no, you go, see what Balak wants, but you're not to say anything I don't tell you to say. So Balaam goes on, he meets up with Balak. Balak takes him up onto a big mountaintop where they can see right across the country, and they can see the Israelites, and he says, now you curse them for me, because we know that if you curse someone, the bad things will happen to them. So Balaam starts to go and curse the Israelites, but he can't. And God speaks through him, and he pronounces a blessing over Israel. And Balak gets pretty cranky about this, and he says, that's not what I'm paying you for, because it's all about money from Balaam. So he tries again, takes him to a different spot. Balaam pronounces another blessing. Happens a 3rd time, and Balak's pretty cranky about this, but Balaam says, well, I can only say what God says. And now Balaam's a false prophet. He's used to hearing spiritual voices, and this occasion he hears from God, and God won't let him speak a curse. He only allows him to speak blessings. And here's the thing. God was watching over Israel when this was going on. Israel knew nothing about it. God's watching them and would not allow them to be cursed. And God watches over us. We're his children, and he is behind the scenes. There'll be people trying to curse us behind the scenes because of being Christian, trying to speak against us, trying to run us down. But God is there. God is looking after us, and God has our back. So even in the New Testament, we read in Romans 8:31, where it says, if God is for us, who can be against us? So rest assured, Christians, children of God, that God is for us. And even when there's a lot of stuff going on behind in the background, God is still for us, looking after us, and he has our back. So until next time, bye.